Hey, welcome. This is going to be a bit of an extension of last week's class. So last week we did a lot more breath work and then a little bit of yoga, and then we ran out of daylight. This week I'm in Sweden, so we probably will have enough daylight because it's pretty much, even though, yeah, it's pretty much 24 hours of daylight at this point. Not this bright, but pretty bright. So the only thing we have to worry about are the mosquitoes, and thus far they have not been terrible. So fingers crossed that the mosquitoes leave us alone for class today. Last week was a lot of kind of breath work in this idea of kind of more passive chair yoga style yoga. And this week we've got the light, so we'll do more of the chair yoga aspect. And it is a great form of yoga because it's something you can just do anywhere. You can do do it on the plane, you can do it at work, just anywhere that you are. Mosquitoes. In the middle of a forest. So here we are. We're gonna do it in front of a beautiful lake at sunset tonight. And hopefully that traffic that is leaving the nature reserve won't be too loud. It sounds like a tractor. So hopefully you can hear me. If not, just make it up. Okay, so we are going to start just how we started last week with some breathing. So finding yourself comfortably seated, some breath and some awareness, some body awareness. We're going to do that body awareness exercise again. So just resting comfortably, and you're going to bring your awareness to your breath. And we are going to again start with that double inhale, long exhale. So we'll inhale about 2/3 of the way, pause, inhale the last third, pause, and then a long exhale. Okay. So go ahead, take a deep breath in, 2/3 of the way up, pause, and now inhale as much as you can. Pause, and then exhale. Good. So if you're extra stressed, you can do this with an exhale through the mouth. Otherwise, just gently releasing through your nose. It's up to you. So again, we take 2/3 of a breath in. Pause. Another breath in. Pause. And exhale. Really pushing that exhale all the way out. Inhale, 2/3. Pause. Again. Pause. And exhale. Let the jaw and the face, the neck and the shoulders completely soften at the end of that breath. Inhale again. Pause. Inhale again. Pause. And exhale. Inhale. Pause. Inhale again. Pause. And exhale. Again, inhale. Pause. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Pause. Inhale again. Pause. And exhale. Beautiful. So I just want you to take a second to bring your awareness into your hands, tap them on your thighs, bring your awareness onto your thighs being tapped by your hands. I like to keep tapping here and start to bring awareness into my wrists. How does it feel, that percussion in the wrists, moving up into the forearms? What does it feel like in the forearms, moving up into the elbows? Feeling that movement in the elbows, up into the biceps and the triceps, coming up into your shoulders. Feeling the breath As you move into awareness in your shoulder blades and in your chest, noticing the throat, the neck, noticing your jaw, your cheeks, your nose, your lips, forehead and your eyes, your ears, your scalp, back down into the neck and throat, back down into your shoulders, your chest and your shoulder blades, feeling your arms, so the head into the shoulders, into the fingertips. Keep this gentle percussion going. Move down into your rib cage, mid back. Again, how does that breath feel? How is the percussion movement shifting things in your body? Moving down into your belly, feeling the breath, feeling how the core has to engage for this percussion to happen. Feeling it in your low back, again, the breath and how the back interacts with the movement in the arms. Coming down into your hips and noticing just that gentle shifting back and forth of the hips. Bringing the awareness down into the upper thighs. So not just the area where you are doing the percussion, but down into the back of the thighs, the front of the thighs, up near the hips, the hip creases, down into your knees. Dropping the awareness down into the calf muscles and the shin bones, down into the ankles, and down into the feet. And just feeling how this percussion that you are doing with the hands on the knees moves all the way up into your head and all the way down into the earth. And then just stop with the percussion, turn the palms up, and breathe into your whole body, just sensing how the body is feeling today, where your energy level's at, just everything, what's going on in the body. A little repeat of last week. I'm going to take the left hand to the right knee, gently press the knee out into the hand, and then take the right arm behind you in your chair and rotate around. And as you do this, try to keep your spine as long as you can, and also keep your head as much on top of your hips as possible. So we're not kind of twisting this way or twisting this way. We're trying to spiral around our spinal column, looking as far over our right shoulder as possible, and using that right arm to press yourself around. And see if you can really allow the core, the belly, to be wrung out like a towel. So you should really feel almost that you have to pull your left hip backwards a little bit to stop the body from rotating in your chair. So gently pressing both knees out, because we're pressing into that left hand, and the left knee is pressing out to support the pelvis in this rotation. And we gently release and come back center. So we do the opposite now. Right hand, left knee, left hand around behind you. So again, I'm pressing both knees out to create more stability in my pelvis and in my shoulders. I'm staying right up on top of my pelvis. And I'm rotating myself. Looking as far over the left shoulder as you can. Nice deep breaths, feeling this twist move all the way down into the low belly. So again, it should feel like you have to press your right knee out to pull the right hip back to assist with that rotation through the pelvis in the opposite direction of the shoulder. And then unwind slowly. We're going to tuck the chin and round the spine down. So what we're actually doing is trying to get our forehead as close to our pelvis as possible. We're really rounding down, trying to get the top of the head onto the knees. And then from your tailbone, from the base of your spine, I want you to roll yourself back up. Okay? So our downward movement starts in the chin and rounds us all the way down, as tight into a ball as we can go. And then our tail is what pulls us up. And tucking the chin and rounding down. And taking the tail to round us up. Hands are on the knees. Now we're going to lift the chest, send the sitting bones backwards so they're really peeling up off of your chair. Your heart is coming up, your chest is opening, and your shoulders pull down. So a lot of times we come to this arch and we kind of, for some reason, bring the shoulders up and just go, eh. We don't want to do that. We want to pull the shoulders down, rocket the heart up, reach your sitting bones back, and look up across the sky or across the ceiling. So our butt and the top of our head are reaching behind us, and our heart is reaching above us, and our rib cage is reaching forwards. And then we're gonna just like something has punched us in the stomach, and we're gonna carve ourselves inwards. So now the sitting bones are looking forward, the top of the head is looking forward, and it's as if somebody's grabbed a hold of your mid back and are pulling you backwards. And then moving into the opposition. Arching as much as you can. Be sure to pull your shoulders down here. And then rounding. Pull the spine backwards. Reach your sitting bones and your head forwards. One more time. Lifting the heart, head and hips back, shoulders down. And then hips and head forwards, ribs and spine back. Good. And then come on up through center. Now take your left hand, grab the underside of your chair, and move your hand just slightly backwards of your hip if that's possible. Otherwise, right next to your hip is fine. You're just going to grab the edge of the chair. We're going to tip to the right. So I'm leaning away and I'm hanging on to the chair, and that is pulling my left shoulder down. And then I'm going to turn my face towards my right shoulder, tuck my right chin. And then if you want more intensity here, bring your left hand on top and tuck the chin down. Releasing the head if you've got a hold of the head, and coming upright, slowly coming back center. Swap sides, so right hand comes down in the chair next to you. Again, if it's available, you're just going to move the hand slightly behind your hips. This pulls the shoulder back. And then you're going to lean to the left so it drags the right shoulder down. Rotate your face towards the left shoulder, and then tuck the chin. Now, if you want, you can add the extra of the hand. Releasing that head, coming back up and coming center. Turn your palms up, rest them on the knees, and just take a moment to feel into your body, specifically in the shoulders and the neck. It might feel really good to give them a little roll, little swimming action backwards. Swapping directions. And then just resting for a moment, feeling that openness through the shoulders and the head. So let's take a little bit more of a side bend here. You're going to grab hold of the side of your chair again with the right hand. Left arm is going to come straight up. And then it's as if somebody's grabbed hold of that left rib cage and they're pulling it over to the side and you are resisting. So we're really leaning the ribs out. I do like sometimes to add a little bit more here by crossing my right leg over my left. So that allows me to pull that right hip up. And this is if your chair is sturdy enough. And then I lean again off of that right hand and open up. And you're going to come up, unwind the legs if they're wound up, and then bring that left hand across and round. So I'm pulling my nose towards my right hip. At the same time, think about gently pulling your left hip back. And then we come up center, swapping sides. Right arm comes up, left hand comes down onto the chair. Again, I like to cross the legs so that I've got a little bit more hip rotation happening. And then as if somebody has grabbed a hold of your right rib cage, they pull you over to the right and you are resisting by pulling with this left hand and the right fingertips. Coming up, unwinding the legs if you wound them up, and then right hand over to the edge of the chair. And we tuck the chin and round the head like you're trying to touch your nose to your hip. Unwinding. Press the right ankle over the left knee and gently drop that knee down. So you're using the right hand to press the right knee down. And at the same time, you're pushing your right sitting bone down into the chair, trying to sit up even taller. We're trying to get as long as we can. And just while you do this, notice if the shoulders want to lift up, drop the shoulders down. We can lift the head and lift the spine nice and long without the shoulders needing to come with. And just notice if the right hip and the right butt cheek are trying to grab hold here and soften. And oftentimes when we try to soften that muscle, we kind of soften through our spine. So can you continuously lift and lengthen your spine and get your brain to wrap itself around softening that right butt cheek? And it might be like, soften the butt cheek, get taller, soften the butt cheek, get taller. That might be the crazy narrative that goes on in your head, and that is totally fine. And then if you want to go deeper, you're going to keep lifting and lengthening the spine and start to send the chest towards your shin. And as you do this, try not to round in the spine, but keep it nice and long. Instead, think about the low back spine, those lower vertebrae actually pushing forward towards the chair. So we're trying to flatten our back as we fold over top of the leg. And coming up, release your right leg down. Give the legs a little wiggle in and out. Good. And then we're going to swap sides. So left ankle on the right knee. Again, we start to press that left knee down and just notice if this side is a little higher in the knee or a little bit lower, or does it feel tighter in the hip? Just the difference between the two sides. Always nice to know. And again, we're pressing our sitting bones down into the chair, lengthening our spine up towards the sky and dropping the shoulders down as much as we can. And we're alternating our brain from going, get as tall as you can, to soften that butt cheek as much as you can. So back and forth, continuously getting taller and softer through the butt cheek. That bird is so cool. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I don't know what it is. It sounds like a twirling, I don't know, a twirling creature through the sky. So get a little bit taller. If you'd like to go deeper, you're going to really push through those lower vertebrae, pressing them towards the belly. So the pubic bone drops down and the ribs in the belly reach through the legs. We try to keep the chest really open. The shoulders stay down. The spine is nice and long. So I'm reaching my head up and forward. I'm reaching my belly through the legs, and I'm reaching my hips back. Check in with your breath. Notice if you're holding in your jaw. And then lengthening up, release the leg, give it a wiggle, and then lengthen your legs out in front of you. So starting with your toes pressing down towards the mat. I'm not really sure if my toes are in this, so I'll do it this way. So I'm really pushing. I don't think that toe's in there anyways. I'm pointing my toe. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so you're pointing your toe and your foot's on the floor. So you're trying to get all 10 little toesies down onto the ground. And that's going to give you a really nice stretch through the top of the ankles. At the same time, you're going to push down into the chair with your hips. and lengthen up through the crown of your head. This might be a really nice stretch and you just want to hang out here. If you want to go and add a little bit more hamstring movement, you start to, and I like to actually push on my thighs here. It makes my brain go, oh yeah, I'm supposed to stay long through my waistline as I tip forward. Okay. So you're trying to keep yourself, I'm sure in the recording, it just looks like I'm like crazy, just swatting things. There are mosquitoes. I mean, I am crazy, but I'm also swatting at actual creatures. All right. So toes are pressing down. Hips are sliding back. My lower vertebrae are pushing forward towards my knees. So I'm not rounding, I'm not carving back, but I'm pressing forward. And this is probably going to create a sensation on your hamstring attachments. Now, this sensation might be ranging from like slightly discomforting to really nervy feeling, that electric feeling. So if it's an electric feeling, don't do it. If it's just some slight discomfort or some soreness, stay there. Keep the chest open, shoulders down. And you can walk yourself as far forward as your hamstring attachments and your spine will let you go. So as long as you can keep this nice flat back, keep going. But as soon as you start to round, I want you to go back to where you can have the flat back. We're going to round in a minute. Don't worry. It's going to be very satisfying. But right now, that's not where we are. Okay. From here, you're going to lift back up. Now you're going to flex your feet. Okay. Flex the feetsies. So your heels root down into the ground. Feet are long. And then you're going to do the same thing. We lengthen as far over top of the legs as possible. And now we get the satisfying moment of rounding and dropping the head down. Now, if you notice that your shoulders are extra tight, flip your palms up so that you can't hang on to your legs. And that will bring a little more softness into the neck and shoulders. Keep actively flexing your feet, okay? So you're really reaching your heels into the floor. Rolling up through your spine, rebend your knees. We're going to do another variation of a forward fold and a twist. So if you've got pants on, you've probably already got something to hang on to. You might be able to hang on to your foot if that flexibility is available to you. Or you can grab a towel or a strap or a belt. And you're going to put it around your right foot. You can also just grab the back of the hamstring, the knee, if you need to. And we're going to hang on to the knee to start and then extend the foot out in front of you. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm reaching through my heel. I'm pressing down into my hips and I'm getting as tall as I can. So if I have the option of my pant leg, I can grab the pant leg. If I have the option of my foot, I can grab my foot. Okay. So whatever option feels best in your body. And again, we're looking for a flat back. So we're not looking for this. Okay. We are looking for this. I'm tall. Whether I have my toe or whether I have my thigh, doesn't matter. If it's really hard on the neck and shoulders, grab another chair, plop your foot up on top of that chair, and then fold over top of that. Gorgeous sunset right now. Now you can stay here, wherever that is. Maybe you're hanging onto the leg, maybe it's propped up on something. And we're going to take a twist over that right shoulder. Okay. So maybe you have the foot, maybe you've got a strap, maybe you've got your ankle or the outside of your thigh, outside of your knee. You're going to take the right hand, loop it around the back of that chair, and just rotate. And at the same time, get as long as you can through that low back. And then bend the knee and release. We'll swap sides. So again, we sit up nice and tall. Grab hold of the left leg, start at the knee, extending the leg out. You got the option of the pants, you got the option of the foot, you got the option of a belt. And what we're looking for is to get nice and tall. Okay, so we're not like, oh, look, I can touch my nose to my knee and we're all rounded. Sitting up nice and tall, flat back, wherever we are. Okay. Get my ankles covered so that those mosquitoes do not have a buffet. I don't know what kind of bird that is, but I need it in my life. It's just in my house. Make sure you're breathing. Drop your shoulders. Sit up nice and tall. Soft jaw. Soft tongue. And we're going to take the twist. So foot, ankle, calf, knee, whatever you got. Twist, look over the left shoulder. Sit up as tall as you can. Gently release. Come on, back center. Keep the knees a wiggle in and out. And you're going to stand up and forward fold. Bend your knees and roll up through your spine. Nice. You're going to come along next to your chair. So on the left-hand side of your chair, you are going to take off a shoe if you've got it. Put the foot on the chair with the knee pointing away. So if you're from the United States, it's the old Captain Morgan ad. If you're not from the United States, just ignore me. And depending on where your body feels good, you might need to hop that left foot further away or closer to the chair. And we're just going to do this essentially a warrior 2 variation. Okay. So right knee, right elbow on right knee, lean into it. And I'm taking that left inner thigh and I'm reaching it towards my right heel. Okay. So it's not this where my butt's up. I'm really stretching into it and putting as much weight into that right foot as possible. And then we're going to pop up, rotate towards the chair. Okay, you can hang on to the chair. And then I'm going to send again that left hip towards the right heel. So I'm pressing my left heel backwards. Maybe it's on the ground, maybe it's not. It's not for me. And I'm really sending that left hip straight forward, sinking into the right leg, and then pushing that left thigh away. You can take a little twist here if you'd like, if that feels good. And then lengthen out that right leg, hang on to the chair, fold over top. So now you have the option of putting the toes down of the right foot or flexing up, whatever feels more efficient for a stretch in your body. And just fold over top. And then rebending, bringing the foot onto the chair, and then hop that left foot in, roll up, and we'll swap sides. And we switch. Bring the left foot up. Okay, and we're turning to face forward again. Pop that right foot out as much as you need to so we can come into this warrior variation. We lean into the left leg. And we're looking to take that right inner thigh towards the left heel. Now, if you've got a really sturdy and stable chair, this can feel really nice to rest your weight slightly backwards. Now, super sturdy, stable chair in order to do that. Otherwise, you're going to take it backwards. But it can feel kind of nice to rest that weight backwards. And then it becomes a little bit more of a yin pose. Breathing, softening through your shoulders. And then coming up, rotating. So again, I sink the right heel down and back. Now it may or may not touch the ground. And then I press that right hip forward again. Okay. So right hip is really pressing forward. Right thigh bone is pushing forward. Right knee is pushing back and sinking down into that left leg. If you want to take a twist, take a twist. Then you're going to push into that left leg, lift the hips up and back. You can choose to keep the toes down or flex them and pull them up, folding over top of the leg, resting the head down towards the shin. Bending the knee, pop the right foot in, roll up. Have your shoe, put it on again. And come around and use the back of your chair for a little chest opener. I'm going to try not to fall in the lake here. You're going to walk your feet back, walk your hips back. Drop your chest down, hanging under the edge of the chair. Try to drop the head between the shoulders and allow the chest to really fall towards the floor. Bend your knees, roll up, step in. I'm going to rotate my chair sideways for this, but you can just come around to the front of your chair. Try to find a relatively flat position. Get her over here. Bird's having a grand old time. Okay, so we're gonna do some up dog, down dog. So if you take your hands on the edge of your chair and walk your feet back into plank position, okay? You're gonna just drop the hips forward and send the heart up, the head back. So I'm really squeezing my elbows into my rib cage and sending the heart forward. Stretching through the balls of my feet so my toes are on the ground and I'm flexing through the ball of the foot to stretch out under the toes. And the up dog variation. And then down dog is kind of just where we were a moment ago. We just roll back onto our heels and send our head and our chest through. And then rolling through the spine, we come back into our up dog. Again, hug the elbows into the rib cage, send the heart up and through, the head back. Getting a nice stretch through the feet. And then up and back, down dog. Send the head and the heart through the arm. One more time, roll through the spine into your up dog. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. And then move up and back, downward facing dog. Roll through to plank again. Holding here in plank, drawing your belly in towards your spine. Opening the chest nice and wide. And then step right foot, left foot. And come up right. And we'll finish with some breath work again. So, getting yourself situated. Getting comfy. Relaxing the hands onto your lap, palms turned up. Close your eyes. Take a couple deep breaths in through the nose, out through your mouth. Relaxing your face, turning the edges of your lips up just slightly into a smile. I'm going to work with a box breath to finish today. So as we move through this, if you find that the inhale, the pause, or the exhale are too long or too short, you can adjust it. I'm just going to talk you through the first 3 rounds, and then you're going to count to yourself in your head for the next 2 or 3 minutes after that while we do this breath meditation. So it's called a box breath because it's shaped like a box. Let me do it over here so you can see. So we'll inhale for 2, or sorry, we'll inhale for 4. We're going to hold for 2. We're going to exhale for 4, and we're going to hold for 2. So it's actually really a rectangle. Now you might feel more comfortable doing 4, 4, 4, 4. And that's great. But I find that most people need a shorter pause, or 4, 3, 4, 3. Okay. So tune in to what's going on for you today. Do you want to lengthen things out, shorten things? But we'll do 3 rounds together, and then we will sit and breathe together for about 3 minutes in silence. Okay. So take a full breath in and a full breath out. We're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2. Continue at your own pace. About 3 more rounds of breath here. And then letting your breath return to just a gentle in and out. Bring your awareness back into your physical body and just noticing the sensation of the breath moving through the body. How has the breath changed since the beginning of our practice? How does your nervous system feel since the beginning of our practice? How does your mind feel? What's changed? How's your body change? And let's close with that centering practice of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So because our eyes are already closed, I want you to I want you to notice, become aware of 5 different things that you can hear. And I want you to notice 4 things that you can feel. So sensory, what do your feet feel like? What do your hips feel like? Things like that. What do you feel? 4 things. And I want you to open your eyes and name 3 things that you can see. And then 2 things that you can smell. And then 1 big breath in, 1 long exhale through your mouth. And bring your hands together at your heart center. Take a moment. Also think of 1 thing that you're grateful for. And then take that gratitude out into the world with you, as well as your breath and your body and your presence. Namaste. Thanks for being here today. Through the summer, I'll be traveling a lot, so there'll probably be a lot of yoga classes that end up looking like this. They might not be such a traditional yoga class or traditional movement class. It might be in places where there's no space for a mat, or yeah. So we'll figure things out as we go, and it'll just be a really great lesson in utilizing what we have available to us to make sure that we are getting movement in our lives. So yeah, I will see you all over the place for the next couple months doing movement every Monday.